Hi everyone. Today I found this in a pile of papers. So we're going to do a little art piece around this saying, which is our house is ourself. Now this pertains to specifically in dreams. When we have dreams about being in a house, it's usually about ourself. This comes from my Jungian background. Today's exercise is something that you might see in therapeutic art. So I'm gonna create a house here on this piece of paper. You could easily do this in your journal. I just decided to use a piece of paper. And actually, I'm mostly going to use collage. So if the house is ourself, I want to fill my home or house that I'm making with all the things that I want in my house. Now, that could be actual physical things, but it could also be spiritual, emotional, many different things, and it could have many different components in it. Now, true dream work involves some interpretation, but you should never let anyone else interpret for you. You should be doing it for yourself. So let's sort of get started while we talk about this concept. So I'm going to draw. This is kind of a large piece of paper, and I can see that the whole thing isn't going to fit on my screen, but I'll do my best because honestly, I feel like I wanted this bigger piece of paper, and I do have a bigger journal. I would call it a desk journal, something that, so I'm just kind of guessing here, and I'm going to draw a picture of a house, and a loose picture of a house. And I don't want it to be perfect because that's not me. You might want windows in your house, and you could draw anything you want on your house or in your house. You might want to put windows and doors and things like that, and that's fine, but I just want an outline. You could definitely do one of my favorite tricks, which is, so this was my Tombow black pen. You could just take your water brush and smudge the lines. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not doing this, but you could take a pen and you could write all the things or about the things that you desire that you want your house to be filled with. When you talk about that like that, you're actually saying, I want my self to be filled with. So what are the things you're looking for? I want to make this smudgier. What are the things that you are looking for to fill your house with? So to fill yourself with. What kinds of things do you want? Now, I've pre-cut some things out of magazines, so we're just going to do a collage, but you could paint this yourself. That's sort of thinking that I wanted to cut this out eventually and hang it up maybe. So I'm going to cover up most of this, so I don't care really what it looks like, but you could write a note or letter of whatever to yourself about the things that you want in your quote-unquote house, which is yourself. Some things that immediately come to mind for me are people, emotional support things. There's so many things that you could have that you would want to put inside yourself that you want to have. You make this any way you want, about anything you want. So I'm going to start here, and I'm actually going to use my Tombow tape permanent adhesive. So I cut some things out. So I want art in my house. So you just run this along the edges. Probably what I should have done is maybe to lay things out first. So let me get some things that I have here. Let's see. So I found this rainbow that I really, really loved. Now, I have this card that I pulled from my Look Up, Look In from Mari Andrew. And I pulled this rainbow card today when I got started, which I thought was I had already pulled this card. So this is a photo of a double rainbow with this cool shadow on this house, also about a house. But it says on the back, a rainbow is likely to stop you in your tracks. It's delightful, magical, awe-inspiring. A rainbow follows rain, a symbol of healing that brings joy to anyone who sees it. It goes on to say, think about your own healing journey and how you might benefit. Can you see your healing as beautiful and a contribution to other people in your greater community, not just you? I thought that that was very appropriate. So now here, some of the things I thought about having in here. This is a symbolic person. I wanted to have some nature things, some flowers. I chose this because this is a little sprite maybe. I wanted magic in my life. So I wanted to add the Sprite. I have this very cool star thing. I thought about adding light into the house. I have another rainbow picture, which I don't know if I'm gonna, maybe I won't add that. Maybe I'll just add one. I had this other picture of a home and a farm, which really speaks about home to me. I have this cool chair, so I want cool furniture maybe. I definitely want the Sprite though, because I really loved him. Her, him, whatever. And I definitely want the natural stuff in there, so let's see how we can get that in. And then I found some food, so nourishment. So, and a cherry on top of that nourishment. And so these things maybe would be what I want to have in the house. So I'm just going to quickly think about this and get it down on paper. So I'm going to take my little tape runner. This exercise is about thinking about what you want to fill yourself with. What are the important things? And at this crazy time of our lives, maybe the crazy time of year we're in also, I think these are things that we all need to consider. What do we want to fill ourselves with? What do we want more of in our life? And really, honestly, just ignoring the things we don't want. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but what you pay attention to spreads. So it's best to not think, it's best to think about what you want versus what you do not want. And by putting this down on paper, if this were a therapeutic art session, by putting it down on paper, you're making it more real for your brain, your neural pathways. You're building new and different neural pathways maybe. I'm definitely going to put my rainbow in because that definitely speaks to me. Now, I don't mind when things go off the sides. As a matter of fact, I kind of like that. So the food here is about nourishment. So that could be any kind of nourishment at all. It could be actual food. It could be spiritual or wisdom nourishment, or, I mean, you name it, right? And of course, like I said, the cherry on top. I'm going to do it this way, I think. I just wanted the so I wanted to be, or someone to be in this photo also, or in this representation also. I think I'll do her down there. And finally, the little magic Sprite. So magic, oh no, not finally, I have my chair. So I think I'll put the little magic in the middle, because a little magic goes a long way. So I'm going to put the chair right there in the middle. And I'm going to pull whatever got stuck there off. There we go. Okay, so this is my house, or myself, the things that I'm wanting to have in it right now. Now, you can do this any way at all. Like I said, you can draw, paint, color, whatever you want, but do a house as yourself and fill it with all the things you want, love, want, maybe inside your house, but in a very symbolic way inside yourself. So then your job is to look at this and say, how could I get more of that into, I love this leaf too, I wanted to put that in. So how could I do more of this in my life? How could I get more of this in? And I think maybe another question or another idea is, like I said, to write inside your house and then cover it up with everything. So write a little letter to yourself about the things you want more of for you personally. This is about learning to take care of ourselves, learning to love ourselves, filling ourselves with all good things, being able to accept that, because that's really hard for some of us to do. Again, you could cut this out. You could do this right in your journal. No need to do it this way. Okay, there's my house is myself. Remember to always remember that our house is ourself. It's all about you. So when you dream about your house, look at where you are. What room you might be in the house. Is it clean? Is it tidy? Are there things you need to do to clean up, tidy up? Consider writing a little story for yourself about it.
I just wanted to introduce you to Faith. This is our new rescue. Faith is 2 years old, and she's a mini Aussie. She's also not very cooperative, but she's scared. We just rescued her this week. We picked her up on Tuesday, and she's very nervous. She doesn't want to be on camera, apparently. Faith came from a puppy mill, unfortunately. She was 2 years old. She's been bred at least once, we know. So she's still learning. We had a really great walk today. She walks really nice on a leash. They didn't think she would walk on a leash, but she walks really nice on a leash, and she's somewhat toilet trained. So I'm very happy about that. I don't have to worry too much. She's got to gain a couple pounds. She also needs a little bit of training so she knows how to be a dog. She doesn't even know how to play with a ball or a toy. Snacks don't interest her at all. Food doesn't really interest her at all. So we have a little bit of work, but good work.
Okay, everybody, take care. Thank you for being here.